June 25, 1985, is a moment destined to mark forever the history of modern Marian apparitions. The visionary Mirjana of Medjugorje received from the hands of the Queen of Peace a mysterious scroll containing the 10 secrets. Today, almost 40 years later, we are still waiting for the first of these prophesied events. A wait that has raised doubts in the most fragile hearts and provided ammunition to the most fierce detractors of the apparitions. Such a long wait can only mean one thing: it's all false, the skeptics maintain. But is it really so? Today, we will reveal a surprising truth that completely changes the perspective. The apparent delay in the announcement of the first secret is not at all accidental, nor does it represent a refutation of the apparitions. What we are about to share will connect in an extraordinary way prophecies, mystical visions, and Marian messages, revealing the precise reason why the secrets have not yet begun and why they might manifest very soon. If these topics are dear to your heart, help us spread them. A like can do a lot. Thank you from the heart. In 1985, in an interview given to Father Peter Jabisic, Mirjana revealed words of fundamental importance. The Holy Virgin told me that it is necessary to pray a lot until the first secret is revealed. But beyond this, it is necessary to make sacrifices as much as possible, to help others as much as is in our capabilities, and to fast, especially now, before the first secret. She said that we are obliged to prepare ourselves. But to fully understand the meaning of this time of waiting, we must return to a fundamental message, delivered by the Virgin Mary of Medjugorje on April 24, 1982, to the same Mirjana. On that day, something extraordinary happened. Mirjana had a vision in which Satan appeared to her, trying to seduce her with promises of earthly happiness and a life without problems, on condition that she abandon her devotion to the Virgin Mary. Faced with the firm refusal of the visionary, the Virgin Mary appeared, making the evil one disappear. On that occasion, the Virgin Mary pronounced words that shed light on the historical moment we are living.
"Excuse me for this, but you must know that Satan exists. One day he presented himself before the throne of God and asked permission to tempt the Church for a certain period. God allowed him to test it for a century. This century is under the power of the devil, but when the secrets that have been entrusted to you are fulfilled, his power will be destroyed. Already now he begins to lose his power, and he has become aggressive. He destroys marriages, raises discord among priests, creates obsessions, murders."
This revelation is of crucial importance, because it clearly defines a period of 100 years of particular power granted to Satan, followed by the time of the 10 secrets, which once fulfilled, will mark his definitive defeat. But when did this century of trial begin? To answer this question, we must take a step back and remember an extraordinary event, which happened long before the apparitions of Medjugorje. On October 13, 1884, at the end of the celebration of the Holy Mass, the Supreme Pontiff Leo XIII had a terrifying vision. He heard a voice with a guttural and deep timbre, saying, "I can destroy your church. To do this I need more time and more power." The Pope also heard a more graceful voice, asking, "How much time? How much power?" The guttural voice replied, "From 75 to 100 years, and a greater power over those who deliver themselves to my service." The gentle voice replied, "You have the time." The pontiff recounted, I saw the earth wrapped in darkness, and from an abyss I saw legions of demons coming out, spreading throughout the world, to destroy the works of the Church, and attack the Church itself, which I saw reduced to the extreme. Then Saint Michael appeared, and drove the evil spirits back into the abyss. I saw Saint Michael the Archangel intervene, not at that moment, but much later, when people would have multiplied their fervent prayers to the Archangel. Deeply troubled, Leo XIII immediately composed the prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel, ordering that it be recited at the end of each Massachusetts. This prayer would later be suppressed in 1964 by Pope Paul VI. If you too would like it to be reintroduced today, write together with us in the comments. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. But why 100 years? Exorcist Father Chad Ripperger provides an enlightening explanation.
Because there exists something called immemorial custom or immemorial memory. Human memory lasts approximately from 70 to 80 years. And if you exceed that generation that still remembers how faith was lived, how it was practiced once, what the devotions were, how one prayed and so on, then if 100 years pass without these practices being maintained, they will be forgotten and therefore extinct. This is why Satan wanted those 100 years.
It is a diabolical plan. To erase the living memory of tradition, to interrupt the chain of transmission of authentic faith, in order to rewrite the past and dominate the future. When did these 100 years begin? Many scholars of Marian apparitions believe that Satan was released from the chains on October 13, 1917, exactly the day of the last apparition of the Virgin Mary at Fatima, the one in which the miracle of the sun occurred. This date is particularly significant for several reasons. First, it shares the same day as Leo XIII vision, October 13th, but with an interval of 33 years, a strongly symbolic number in Christianity, representing the age of Christ at the time of crucifixion. The period 1917 to 2017 includes events of extraordinary historical magnitude, such as the spread of communism, just as predicted at Fatima, the Second World War, the Cold War, the Second Vatican Council, and the subsequent crises in the Church. All events that could be interpreted as part of this century of trial. This theory is also strengthened by the testimony of Teresa Neumann, a Bavarian Catholic mystic. In her visions, Teresa declared, "The Great Plague will open in 1999 and will bleed for 18 years. This will be the time of Cain. I see a basket full of snakes being poured onto the earth, creeping over cities and countryside, destroying everything. Ignorance, contempt for culture, arrogance, pride, violence, materialism will triumph." According to this interpretation, the 100 years of special power granted to Satan would have ended in 2017. But then, why haven't the Secrets of Medjugorje begun yet? If the trial period is over, why aren't we yet witnessing the events announced in the 10 Secrets? The answer to this enigma is found in a message received by Don Stefano Gobi on November 9, 1984. In that message, the Virgin Mary revealed,
"In these messages I also reveal to you my design in its silent preparation, in its painful implementation, and in its victorious fulfillment. Now you are about to reach the most painful and bloody end of the purification, which will take place in these years, before the great triumph of my Immaculate Heart, in the advent to you of the glorious kingdom of Jesus. It is a design that embraces this century. In 1917, at Fatima, I anticipated it, almost as a prophetic announcement, at the moment when the great struggle between the woman clothed with the sun and the red dragon, which would last the whole century, appeared evident, as a proud challenge to God, for my adversary. In the certainty of being able to destroy the Church, and to lead all humanity to a universal rejection of God. The Lord has granted him this space of time, because in the end, the pride of the red dragon will be cut down and defeated by the humility, the smallness, and the strength of your heavenly Mother. The woman clothed with the sun, who now gathers all her little children, in her army arrayed for battle. Now that you are reaching the most painful and bloodiest years of this great struggle, I personally have intervened to form my army through the Marian priestly movement, which is my work. For this I have chosen as my instrument a son among the weakest, humanely the most unprepared, and I have taken him to every part of the world, to demonstrate to all that what is happening is only through my personal and extraordinary intervention.
Here is the key to understanding. Mary, in this time, is gathering her army. And until this gathering of consecrated souls is complete, until the Marian army is fully constituted, the secrets, which lead to the triumph of the Immaculate Heart, will not begin. This explanation harmonizes perfectly with the words of Our Lady of Good Success, who had prophesied, "I will dethrone the proud Satan, I will chain him in the infernal abyss, and I will restore the Church." According to what was recently reported by the mystic Gloria Polo, the existence of a systematic and well-organized attack against priests would emerge with clarity. Especially priests who are very Marian, very Eucharistic, with the gift of contemplation, and capable of transmitting a deep devotion to the people. We are therefore in a time of gathering, in a phase of final preparation, before the secrets begin to manifest. Each apparition, each message of the Virgin Mary, is an invitation to enter her army, to line up under her banner, for the final battle. And only when this army is completely formed, then the time of the secrets will begin, which will culminate in the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, and in the advent of the Kingdom of Christ. The Queen of Peace calls us to unity in prayer. Write your intention in the comments, and we will unite our hearts in a single prayer, entrusting each of our needs to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Preparation for the first secret is not an option, but a duty, a spiritual necessity. In the last annual message delivered to Mirjana on March 18, 2025, the Queen of Peace conveyed a serious sense of urgency and invited us to do something specific. What? Click on the video that has appeared on your screen to listen to our analysis. May God always illuminate your path. See you in the next video.